Ooh, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day, a little crooked. So today is another installment of knives loaned from Thrasher's Garage. Brandon over at Thrasher's Garage, just an awesome guy. He sent a box of knives for me to check out. And this one's next down the line. I only have 3 left, including this one. So after this, there's only 2 more of these badass blades from Brandon. And this one, as you can clearly see, is Divo knives. Unless I forget to flip the video, then it's Ovid. But it is Divo knives. Divo. So you're seeing this pouch and you're thinking automatically, okay, it's got to be another slip joint. And he's doing another slip joint today. And that's why it's a pouch, because it doesn't have a belt loop. Belt clip. Well, nope. It just comes in a really sweet pouch. So this one is called the Stout. Right now, the Stout is sold out, but there will be making more. So their manufacturing partner is QSP, and quality service price. I think that's what that stands for. QSP, if you know, makes really good stuff. So basically, I believe this is all put together by QSP. I'm not sure on everything else because I haven't seen any QSP knives that are 20 CV steel. I have not seen any, and this one is. It is a used knife, so it is a used edge. That micarta is so pretty. But let's get into it. Blade length is 3.3 inches. Handle length is 4 3/4, very generous inches. The blade thickness is 3.6 millimeter. It is 20 CV steel. And its blade shape, he calls it a sheep's poon. Now, I don't know where this guy's from, but where I'm from, the poon is something completely different. But this is a sheep's poon. Now, I am not a big fan of like sheep's foot and Warncliffs. I'm just not a big fan of those style blades. But something about this one, I don't know what it is. It kind of reminds me of like a dinosaur, or like the bad guy from what was that, Dark Crystal. I don't know if you remember that, but it just kind of has that feel to it, like this medieval looking prehistoric bird, right? This dinosaur bird. I don't know, that's what I get when I look at it, and for some reason I like it. I don't know, maybe if this hole wasn't cut out and it was just solid, maybe I wouldn't like it so much, because it gives it that eye effect to really give it that whole animalistic vibe. But I don't know, it's kind of cool. This one won me over as far as that's concerned, and they generally don't when they look like this. But I like it. So I've been playing with it for a little bit, but I haven't done anything with it. Haven't done any cuts with it, anything like that. I'm noticing a bunch of different, you can get black polish, this and that. And yes, tons of scales, and you can order custom scales. So if you are able to find one of these, you can get yourself some custom scales. And if I remember right, it looks like they have another one coming out. It's a pre-order, and I think the pre-order is already sold out. But it's called the Buzz, Divo Buzz, and I have to say, I like it even more than this one, kind of a lot more. It's a really cool knife, but hopefully they make another run at them because it's cool looking. But we're talking about this guy right here, and this guy should be enough. So what is this called? The Stout. So the Stout offers very, very generous material here in the grip. It makes for a very comfortable grip that I can still just get my pinky on when I hold it in the true grip. When I bring it all the way up, man, that gives you so much hold. And generally when you're holding it all the way up, you weren't holding it like this. This isn't how you're cutting. You're cutting like this when you're doing that. But this, when you put your thumb right here in that little designated area for thumbing, ooh, I can't wait to feather with this. It's going to be really nice. Skinning, I'm pretty sure you can actually do it with. And one of the reasons that gives me a little confidence in the skin game is if you look closely, and as soon as I looked at it, I noticed this. The belly isn't flat. It's not a linear edge. And I was impressed. I looked at that. I said, wait a second, that can't be right. But check it out. Look, see that little movement right there? That is not a linear edge, which is going to offer you better cutting when you're doing things like skinning, because you're going to be able to sweep the blade, not push the blade. And that is a pretty big time thing right there. It's not so bad. So the entire knife offers no jimping. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't need to. A lot of knives over jimp, and they think that jimping is the key all, do all, one all, blah, blah, blah. It's not. Just having a good landing area for your fingers and thumbs, that's all that really matters. Having sweet micarta, that matters too. That's actually really nice. And I have to say that they use really good micarta. This is a frame lock, and you can see where the frame goes beyond the scale. I really, really like that. I think it just gives an overall better look here. And for those people who, I don't know, have trouble opening knives with your hands on the frame, it kind of makes you keep it off of it. So that's pretty good. But what we want to do is we want to cut. So let's go cut with the Stout. All right, we almost have sunshine. It's just bright out. I think the sun is starting to creep out of the clouds, and you can see it's not so bad, man. The quality in the build is absolutely there. It's evident from first look. This build quality is just there. Let's see. I want to really go ahead and use this knife to what it's. And now this is an EDC. It's not your camp blade. And I'm using it and talking about it like it's going to be your little bushcrafter or your skinning and this and that. And the reason is because once I put it in my hand, it went from this thing is going to be a great box cutter opener to a great bushcraft knife. And I'll tell you what, I was right to think so. Just the angles of the way it's made and the edge geometry, right away it lent itself to me as this thing is going to be a fierce little bush knife. And man, that thing, that's as pure as it gets when you're talking about that. Is it crazy sharp? I don't know. I haven't tested. So, yeah. All right, so it doesn't matter. You do all that stuff, and it's still 100% razor sharp. I don't know if you can see all that, but the bald spot's pretty evident. So even being a used edge and just using it minimally right there just to do that, I have to say it's really freaking sharp. It feels nice in the hand. It just feels nice. It has an overall healthy grip. It's like you put it in your hand and you know you're not going to have slippage or areas where you have to be concerned about losing your knife. Let's see if I can't bring you guys down a little bit. And I don't mean make you sad. I'm going to bring you down a little bit, man. But let's do a couple hard downward throws. And we'll see if the frame collapses. And, oh, wow. Tell you what, that's not so bad. Oh, there it goes. All right, so a hard impact, and I threw that pretty hard. Boop. It did collapse the frame. This is not a throwing knife. So now what we want to do, because we were able to collapse the frame, is we want to go reverse. Oh, I heard it snap. So, no, it's not doing it now. But I was able to move the lock slightly on this knife, and it kicked right back. But I have to say that that's a win. The fact that it closed on a hard downward, that just means it's a good stump this time. That means there was just a lot of vibration that moved this. Now, normally your hand is on it when you're doing cutting, so that will never be a problem in real world use. That's just part of the testing. Banging on it, it did loosen for a second and just kicked right back. But all in all, let's see. It is still there. No wobble, no movement, no nothing. So it's not really a fault of the knife. It's just things that happen when you're talking about having a folding knife. Anything with an access point has the ability to slip and move. Anything that locks has the ability to unlock. That's just physics. All right, so let's try a push cut. And the push cut goes very, very easily. Now, if I was just going like this and it was closing over and over again, I would definitely call it a fail. But because I really had to work at it to get it to move, I can't in my right mind call it a fail. That would be way too picky. All right, so 4 layers of leather belt and 4 layers gone. It's pretty nice, man. It's pretty nice. Now I'm going to prove to you guys my faith in this knife, and I'm going to stab the tire. Even though it has a round tip, this is not the kind of knife you stab into something that could end up closing your knife on your hand. And knowing that it's sharp, if it does close, I guarantee you I'm going all the way to the bone. All the way, because it's so sharp. Ugh. It's a round tip. It's not a stabber. I'm telling you. I came down with good force, but it's not unlocking on me. It's not unlocking. It's definitely not a stabber, without a shadow of a doubt. It's not a stabber, but it's a good feeling knowing that with the knife in hand and actually using the knife, it's not going to close. And it took something that you wouldn't do with a knife to get it to fail. All right, so let's see if this tip is going to be good enough for this. I don't know. And absolutely, wow, that was surprising. Not as smooth as some of the others as far as that, but again, it's a sheep's foot. What do you want? It's got to curve down, so the point is more limited, right? But as far as getting through the plastic netting, it still goes. It still works. Let's see. Soccer ball. I'm going to go through the rubber as well. I'm going to use the entire ball, and no problem. So if you want to get through hide and things like that, it's not going to be an issue. I don't know if he just laid down and died. Are you alive? Yeah, he moved his head. All right, so he's alive. So let's go and see about making kindling, because I know we can feather, but you got to have something to feather. So let's go ahead and make it. Let's go ahead and make it happen. All right. So let's see. Get a piece here. Something that we can break down. This is a good one. That's a good one. Got it upside down. That's not going to help. All right. And I expected to get some movement in the lock, and I didn't there. And I wasn't giving it a sissy tap. I'm hitting it, so I'll show you. And I'll tell you, it's not closing now. So, I mean, you got to put some pretty good impact into this thing to get it moving. Because right now it's doing all the work it should be doing. Look at this edge geometry. Yeah, it's just nice. It's just nice, man. There's just some knives. Being that it has this big lump here, it's offering a really nice spot, especially with my thumb in that little eye hole, for a side grip. Let's see. This piece of wood's not exactly flat. There we go. We'll start making some flat. And there we go. So I have to say, it's a good cutter. It's a good cutter all the way around. You're going to get your sweeps. Your swoops, you're going to get your curls, you can get your elongated ones. Any kind of cut you're looking to achieve is going to be possible. Just is. It's just a good cutting tool, right? So, is it perfect? No. Is it going to be your stabber? Definitely not. Is it going to be your throwing knife that you can rely on not closing when you throw it? No, but that's stupid. Is it going to be the knife that you hold reverse and bang on things? Come on, man. So, I'll tell you, this knife did not underimpress. This right here is just beautiful. That's some beautiful feathering right there. I have to say that I like it, even though there are some things it's not good for. There are other things it's great for. And that's a huge difference maker. Because there's some knives that aren't good for anything, right? But this one's not so bad. Now, I know it's over $200. Would I pay over $200 for this personally? Not a chance. Not a chance. There's plenty of knives that'll do the same job for a lot less. A lot of knives from QSP that you're going to get for under $100 that'll do the same job. But if you're really, really set on getting like this kind of steel and this kind, then it might be worth it to you. Might be worth it to you. For me, not so much. Do I like it? Absolutely. Would I ever pay that much money for this? For this? No. Would I pay that much money for a different knife? Absolutely. I have plenty of knives that are more than that. But they're a little bit different. But that doesn't take away from what this thing is. This thing is a really good EDC. And for those of you who hunt down name or hunt down steel because you think that it's the steel that is all does all, well, then I think you'll like it. It's not so bad. But that's it for this one. That's it. So this is the Stout from Divo Knives. It's sharp. It's a cutter. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.